Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I want to talk about declaring hope and making a declaration of hope in all seasons. Even if it feels weird, even if it's like, well, I'm declaring that this outcome is going to happen, but there's no chance in 1,000 whatever possibilities that it could ever happen. And that there's no possibility that what I'm hoping for is going to happen. So why would I ever declare that? You still must declare victory and hope for what you are hoping for, even when it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Why is that? Because when we don't do that, we empower what we don't want to happen. Or I've seen this, people say, well, I hope that this negative thing doesn't happen. I hope that I don't lose my job. I hope that I don't go broke. I hope that I don't get sick. That's the same exact thing. And honestly, your brain, your body, and even spiritually, we get drawn to and attracted to the things that we hope not to happen. Because we're essentially still putting out there that there's that possibility of that. And you might be saying, well, yeah, there's always possibilities. We all know that. Yet what are we so afraid of to declare, hey, I have hope that I'm going to be healthy. I have hope that I'm going to get XYZ amount of customers this week. I have hope that I'm going to have a plan and a vision for my life to go into the next season. We're so afraid to do that because we're worried oftentimes that if it doesn't pan out that way, that we will be disappointed. And so we would rather not hope than end up disappointed. We would rather not declare and make declarations than end up disappointed because we're holding so tightly to an entitlement of expectation. You see, hope does not equate to entitlement. When you hope for something, it doesn't mean that you are entitled to that only thing happening. And this is where people mix this up because they're so attached to, if that thing doesn't happen, then hope doesn't work. If that thing doesn't happen the way I declared it, then this whole thing doesn't work. And so we would rather have the certainty and the safety and security of not making positive declarations and not being disappointed. Because disappointment is painful, because disappointment is hard for us. When we have to keep our vision in the right place, we have to keep our focus in the right place. When our focus is in the wrong place, we can guarantee we'll never end up disappointed because we're afraid of that. We're afraid of things not turning out how we want it to, and we're ultimately trying to control things. You see, hope is not an effort to try to control things. Hope is not trying to make something happen that, okay, I hoped it, and so now it's going to happen. That's a complete fantasy. It's also a complete fantasy to say that if I don't hope, that I'm not going to be disappointed. That's also a fantasy. We need to declare with hope what we want to happen and be okay with that. Whatever does happen is the very best thing in that moment. Detach ourselves from the need that I'm going to be disappointed, angry, upset, mad, scared if I don't get my way, and acting like a child throwing a temper tantrum when they don't get what they want. That's not hope. That's psychosis. That's a fantasy. And then we live our life wondering, well, why do I keep repeating this pattern again and again? Why do I keep ending up and feeling like the world is out to get me? Because we're so attached to and focus on disappointment. We're so attached to and focus on expected outcomes, and we get mad and angry when we don't get our way. And so we try to control things. We try to do what we can to control things. We go out there and buy toilet paper. We walk around scared and fearful because at least that comfort zone, at least what we know what that feels like, feels a lot better than hoping and it not us getting our way. And so when we live in this place, we are empowering ourselves to be defeated. We're empowering ourselves to constantly spin in a cycle of disappointment. When we don't declare with hope, when we don't walk with expectancy, when we don't walk with expectation and joy for victory. You might say, well, that sounds counterintuitive. You just said don't be attached to an outcome. Don't be disappointed when something doesn't happen. That's the thing. Expect the best, hope for the best, plan for the best, and simultaneously realize that whatever does happen is the very best. And it's outside of your control at that moment. But what you can do is keep yourself focused and fixed your eyes with a vision higher than what you're experiencing around you, higher than what the world is telling you, the news media is telling you. Yes, we don't go out there and do stupid things. We don't put ourselves in harm's way. We don't go into situations that are stupid. That's not what I'm talking about. Having hope and then walking in stupidity is just, that doesn't work. But when you have hope, you declare hope, and we walk in that. We declare the victory. We walk in our destiny. We walk in that. We don't put our happiness, our hope, and our joy in the outcome. It comes from connecting and saying, God, direct my footsteps. I trust you, and I don't need to control how everything happens. And that I know that all of your promises are yes and amen. And whatever happens is the very best for this moment. That I am not going to not hope because I'm worried that it's not going to pan out. That's what I see happen so often is people, they equate detaching from an outcome to, well, I better never hope, and I better never expect, and I better never get my hopes up because I'm going to end up disappointed. We need to break our addiction to lack of disappointment. We're addicted to making sure that we never get disappointed in our life. Because we have this feeling that if I don't get my way, I'm going to be disappointed. And so we never do what is going to help us move forward. We're terrified of disappointment. We're terrified of not getting our way. And that's our justification. That's our reason for not having hope. That's our reason for not declaring what we want. That's our reason for not having expectancy, as if that's a good reason. No. Whatever happens is the best in this moment. Trust the process. Trust God to direct your footsteps, and then start to declare, this week, I'm going to get those customers in my business. I am going to be healthy. Disease and illness and sickness do not touch my household. Walk in wisdom, not in fear. The world is telling you right now to live in fear. The world is telling you right now to live in absolute terror of what might happen, to try to avoid, to try to not get disappointed. Declare with victory. Use wisdom. Walk in wisdom. But hope for the best. Expect the best. And whatever happens is the very best. Detach yourself from needing what you want to happen as your only source of happiness. If your happiness is only because of things going your way, that's a very weak, sad existence. And I get that there's people that are, I don't want to be insensitive to the fact that a lot of people watching this right now may be that way, that they're only happy if they get their way. That's where we need to find our happiness, and our joy comes from God. It comes from being connected to God and saying, God, I don't find my happiness and joy in what's going on around me. I don't get it from what they say about me, what they say about what might happen to me. I don't get it from things being guaranteed going my way. I get it because I trust in you, and I know that you have the very best plans for me. And so I don't need to make sure that my happiness comes from outside influences, that it comes from within, being connected with knowing who God made you to be, being connected knowing with what plans he has for you, and knowing that his plans and his joy is good for you in all things, in all seasons. We walk in wisdom. We declare with hope victory. We walk in joy. That whatever happens. We detach from needing our desired outcome to be our only source of joy. That's what it is. It's being attached to, I will only be happy if I get my way, is why we don't have hope. why we don't walk in hope, why we're scared to declare hope. My friends, I've done that for a long time. And my wife has always encouraged me. No, you're the leader of this house. Walk in hope and victory and joy. No matter what is happening around us, we believe in God that is greater than our situation. And we don't let the thoughts of what might happen, that we're afraid of happening, that we are worried might happen, enter in. We're not having hope against what we don't want to happen, by the way, because that's still empowering the fear. It is. Don't even acknowledge that thing we're afraid of. We're aware that, yeah, we're going to make choices, do our best, make decisions and choices in wisdom, and declare in hope what we hope will happen. You know, I've seen people get mad, saying, well, we hope that this will be over in 2 weeks, and they get upset because they want another person to tell them how this is all going to pan out. Listen, nobody knows how things are going to pan out in life. There is no security in your job, in your business, in your health, in all of that, honestly. And right now, we don't know that. People are grasping for that. The only thing that I do know that there is strength and security in is who God is and our faith in God, that his ways are good, that he will use everything for good for those who trust him. Not that God caused this at all, because I don't believe that, but he will always use everything for good. And when we have hope, when we declare hope, when we declare victory in all situations, we go from glory to glory, not sadness to glory, not sadness to glory to sadness to glory, not bouncing around from this to this, going up and down like this. It's walking in identity of who God made us to be. That's right, Claires. He is a good, good Father. Trust today. If you haven't, spend some time in prayer. Ask God, show me the truth in my situation. I talk to people all the time. They're dealing with financial struggles. They're dealing with uncertainty. We're all dealing with this in different ways. I'm not walking in the same shoes you are, and I get that. But I know this one thing, that no matter what season we're in, that walking in hope, declaring hope, and trusting in God, that is certain, and that is the foundation that we can stand on today in every season and in every situation. So today, make a declaration, not against what you hope doesn't happen, but for the victory that you hope does happen. And then step out in that. And when you catch yourself making a declaration from fear, from worry, from trying to avoid disappointment, from trying to avoid feeling unhappy, from putting our hope in the wrong source. When you find yourself doing that, make an adjustment intentionally, shift it, replace it. Replace what you declared with the opposite of that. Your belief comes from that. Declare that and then walk it out in your actions today. You're going to notice. Why are you doing this? You're going to notice a shift in the way that you view the world around you, the way that you view your business, the way that you view possibility for your day today, the way that you view possibility for your month. Yeah, things aren't going the way that you expected or wanted them to. But if you're finding your happiness and joy in only things going how you want it, you're constantly going to have things happen to prove to you that you can't get happiness in those things. It's time to let that go. Find your happiness in the source of all things, God, that created you and put your dreams, your vision, and your destiny into your life. Stay connected in prayer. Stay connected with people in community. It's called social distancing for a reason. Have a conversation. Call somebody up today that you haven't talked to in a while. Send a DM. Send a direct message. Give a word of encouragement. If you feel empty inside right now, give a word of encouragement to somebody else. And you might be saying, I'm just looking for my next word of encouragement. Well, here you have it is. You have one. God has not left you. He will never leave you. He has not left you now, and he has not left you then, and he will not leave you. and you can have hope and faith in that. Now go pass that on to somebody else. If you're watching this video, share this with some people. I want to make hope just go viral in this season. We're all in a different stage, in a different shoes we're walking in. I'm not disacknowledging that. Like you're not walking the same shoes I am. I'm not walking the same shoes you are. But we can all be certain in this, that our hope and our strength doesn't come from just us. It comes from God. And we can declare victory. We can declare hope for what we want to happen. That is for certain. We'll talk soon, everybody. Have a good one. Have a great week. And walk in hope and joy today.